What is going on, everybody? It is Antonius DaGamer here with Super SSS Rank and Mykale Smith. It is the Press Start Select podcast. Now, we, of course, like most of America, took our holiday breaks, which is why there was a little break in the pod. But now we back. We back, and don't worry. We didn't miss a thing. Just because there was no episode don't mean that we weren't watching. The group chat was very active during the holiday break with all these things that just kept on happening. So we're going to kick off the pod with some of the things that we just didn't get a chance to cover last episode because, of course, things were running a little bit long and, we had some topics we wanted to discuss in depth. So, we have a game that's coming out probably this time next week. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind. Now, it's a game that started off being a PC game, and then of course they got the eventual reveal that's going to come into all consoles. I think they just released the pricing like two days ago. It's going to be like $40, I believe. Mm-hmm. And you get a 15% discount if you pre-order it. So you end up getting it for like closer to $30, which is about the price that I thought it was going to end up being. But now that we're like days away from the game being out to the public, what are your guys' thoughts on Rita's Rewind? Like, what do you guys think about, what it's shaped up to be?
I think it was a safe choice. It was a very safe choice to turn it into a beat 'em up style. And of course, they had a second trailer or a second like gameplay reveal of of course, Tommy, especially, or, I feel like around the time it was also the anniversary of his passing. Mm-hmm. So I feel like, this is a good thing to honor that legacy because especially since they chose this particular generation. Mm-hmm. Hey man, I'm really looking forward to the product. I really am. Because, the last big Power Rangers things that we had was the fighting game. And, that was pretty good for what it was. It crossed multiple generations.
Random roster, though. Random. Super
random. Very, very, very random. But it did its thing. And you can't complain about that. But I feel like this was a very, especially after the success of Streets of Rage, Shredder's Revenge, and
the Cowboy Collection,
even the Double Dragon game. This particular genre is really bouncing back in a very good way. So, I like the art style. I do want to see how certain segments play out, especially when it comes to the Megazord segments. Like, how does that work? But I guess you won't know until you get it in your hand.
Yeah, they explained it during a preview breakdown. Apparently, let's just say all three of us were playing. You rotate over control of the Megazord based on damage. So let's say I'm playing and I get damaged. Whoever's player 2 would automatically take over for the next round of fighting the monster. So you're essentially sharing control of the Megazord throughout whoever's playing.
Okay. We'll see. But like I said, man, it just looks fun. And I think that's what they were going for. Short, simple, straight to the point, fun. You already know, sometimes with these games, there's like at least 1 to 2 DLCs later. So you already know White Ranger, Tiger, Power, Lord Zed. Sure. But yeah, just looking forward to it.
Okay. All right. That's Frank. What about you? What do you think about Rita's Rewind?
No, I'm actually excited, man. The Ninja Turtles games was A1, so I can only imagine what this is going to be with the Power Rangers abilities and all the cast and different weapons. You got selections. I just hope it's long. Not too long, but just long enough to enjoy it because that Ninja Turtles games was super short. So for a beat 'em up, does it have to be? I'm not asking for something. Just a good length, man. Just a good length.
So what is your estimate? Like 2 to 3 hours or 3 to 4?
3 to 4. 3.5.
All right. Well, 3 to 4, I can see that if you're a completionist. Like, hey, get all these access to multiple levels and
like because
that's and stuff like that. But bro, it's always been like
it doesn't have to
like
be
the
6
2 to 3
hours.
mark. The 2 to 3 mark.
Yeah, because you're not really getting more than like 8 to 10 stages. The thing about beat 'em ups is they're fun. They're essentially party games to a degree, right? And it's the longer it goes on, the more the cracks start to show a little bit of it's not meant to be like this. I want to say Streets of Rage 4 was almost like a pleasant surprise, where it's you're doing these full screen bouncing them off the corner combos and things like that. That's not normally the way a beat 'em up works. You have a couple of unlockable combos, maybe some new super moves, and that's about it. Like it's not really. It's not usually built for like super in depth gameplay, and not for nothing, it's not being made by the people who made Streets of Rage 4 and Ninja Turtles. It's being made by Digital Eclipse. So it's like we
Should be
don't
back.
know, to be fair, like their ability to craft like an in depth beat 'em up game. Like I'm glad they're doing it. It's definitely a gap within a weird gap within like the Power Rangers like legacy of like y'all never had a beat 'em up for the original, like
That's true. Well, I mean,
how?
they had it for like the Game Boy, but
But that's what I'm
they
saying.
probably
It's
just
like you saw X-Men Arcade and didn't think like, I too would like to print money. Like
no, no, no.
Remember back then, bro, it was about the toys.
Right, but we were still. I mean, look at Ninja Turtles. We had the arcade game, the cartoon, the toys, the video. Like they
But then, to
hit
be
all
honest, I feel
the
like
things.
I think the Power Rangers, especially for the first saga, it didn't really kick off to a certain point, and maybe they just didn't really have the funds to really develop something of that caliber, especially with something when they started to switch the cast a lot. Because you remember at a certain point, Jason, Jason and I
Zach
forgot who
and
else. Yeah,
Trini.
they left. Then the
Mm-hmm.
new members come, and then you remember that's a lot of voice actors that you got to just keep switching over and over and over.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
overall,
I'm
man, like
looking
it looks
forward
like a
to it,
great game.
man.
It looks like a
Yeah,
great
yeah, it
game.
looks fun. I probably would prefer a different art style. Then
Yeah, some of
I
the
would have.
sprites look a little simplistic. I'm not gonna lie. Like I expected a little bit more detail, so I'm kind of with you on that.
Yeah, I wanted a little bit more as far as I wanted, yeah, more detail. I didn't want it to look like the Ninja Turtles because the Ninja Turtles, it made sense for that style they were going for because it looks more
Mm-hmm.
like the original cartoon. But
Mm-hmm.
for with the Power Rangers, I wanted something a little bit more edgier. I'm still overall, it's not gonna turn me off from the game, but I did want something more, a little bit more edgier, a little bit more detailed. Um,
But you could tell with these beat 'em ups, bro, they always, I think, out of safety reasons, especially like, I would say like due to a certain hedgehog that cost $5 million to redesign. I feel like a lot of people are like when it comes to this particular genre that they always try to do a middle ground. Like it's not bad, but it's not also fantastic.
Mm.
To say like, all right, they're gonna buy it because obviously we're getting the pre-orders in, and
Yeah.
nobody's cursing us in the comments. But
A
yeah, maybe we could
Black
have
Ranger.
maybe we could have done better. But if nobody's complaining, forget about it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
yeah,
that's my yeah. Yeah, but
My
it's cool.
my only little critiques on it before we move on from it is like I I understand the reasoning why they picked that storyline, but I wasn't a fan of that storyline when they did the Netflix. So like we're doing like a 30-year anniversary, and the original Power Rangers are still Power Rangers. Like so they're 40 with kids still turning into colorful ninjas. Why? Like part of that whole legacy is like being able to pass a baton, right? Of like that's kind of what made
yeah,
Power
and they
Rangers such
still
a
not discussing how some of them got their powers back. Because like, wait, didn't y'all lose these powers to a
yeah.
degree? Like,
Yeah, and
so how are
Zordon
you able
died
to do
and
this?
all types
Yeah,
of like there was a lot of this like nope, never happened. Like
as long as it's not
nostalgia.
as long as it's not a multiverse story.
Tim, don't
Don't give them no
yeah,
ideas.
I'll say just wait till that thing the story review drops, because I don't know, the fact that they're going back in time and like okay, let's see. But overall, like, my other critique was like when they dropped the Green Ranger gameplay, I'm like, I didn't hear enough karate yells. I know that's nitpicking. I didn't hear enough like
Yeah,
ayas and
classic.
ayas and
Yeah,
I that
that's
was part of it. That was part of the charm of just like the karate yells, and I just didn't hear that many. Like I would have liked it to be there and have an option to turn it off maybe, but I just didn't hear enough. Sorry. But yeah, to move on to another topic we didn't really get a chance to discuss. I mean, it actually kind of makes more sense now, given that we're a couple of days away from this release as well. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. They finally released gameplay. Surprise, surprise. There's been like a little bit of quote unquote controversy that the company's being very selective with who they're releasing early copies to do reviews. And then of course there's that clip I shared in the group chat earlier, which we don't really have to go into depth about because it's just rage baiting. Like certain things, I'm like, y'all are scraping the bottom of the barrel, huh? Like you need them that rate of return, because it's like, if the heterosexual white male from the 80s can't get a game off in peace, no one can. I'm like, a playable woman? What? It's like, all right, man, whatever. But what I wanted to bring up about Indiana Jones is like, how do you guys feel? Because someone, this guy that I watched, Luke Stevens, was talking about how like it just kind of seems like a game that might have been intended to be VR, and they just changed their minds. And I was like, that's an interesting angle, because like a lot of the things in it don't, outside of the third person action and adventure parts, do kind of seem like they could fit into a VR headset.
I think it's probably the same case. Remember that Star Wars game, Star Wars Rogue Squadron or Squadrons? Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like that was made for VR, and they just try to like hustle you into like, oh no, it's a full fledged game now, but you could just tell pieces of it. It's just like, no, this was meant for VR.
Yeah,
like to give you that in the cockpit experience.
right. Just like, why would I want to do this?
And that's the thing about these. Sometimes with these VR titles, is like you gotta either stay committed to the vision, but if you have any deviations, it just turns into something that it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how it feels to me. Because I feel like, well, first of all, if I would have made an Indiana Jones game, I would have definitely made it. I would definitely made it third person.
Yeah.
Because just like, to see the edginess of the character, like what type of fight scenes that you could actually do, especially with the music playing, like the whip action and stuff like that. But I kind of just felt like maybe when we see the fullness of the gameplay and the inside, the depth, we will see how diverse that they were trying to go with this type of system.
That's fair. I mean, I think you could probably pull off a really dope set piece in first person that might make it worth it. I just, we talked about this before on the pod, like, why would you pay all that money for Harrison Ford's likeness to not use it? It's so weird. Like, what was the point? Be indie, like be literally indie. It's like, no, this was Nathan Drake before Nathan Drake. Make him third person. It's, like that's how I would want my Indiana Jones game. But yeah, Super S Frank, what do you think? What do you think about a VR indie?
The VR indie.
Yeah.
No, back to your point, man. Like kid. As soon as I saw the trailer and I saw I'm in first person and you only go in the third person when I'm whipping to another platform, yo, get out of here. Throw all of that away. I'm
Mm-hmm.
tired of y'all. The first person, like we already live in first person. You want to drink water in first person? You want to throw a whip on a rope? You want to do a flip in third person? I mean, imagine doing a figure skating in first person. I mean, yeah, you want to do all of that in first person. You want to whip on a vine in first person. That is not interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot even see the frame rate of when I'm spinning doing a backflip. It all happens in the blink of an eye. Like, why would I want to do that in a video game?
Yeah.
I don't. I don't want to do that in the video game. So you mean to tell me, I'm just over first persons, period. And then Indiana Jones, it makes sense. Why would I not want to see this in third person to where Harrison Ford is scaling a building, shoulder bashing an enemy, uh, his shirt's on fire and he takes it out. He does a roll or he throws you could have made the game to the point where he's interacting with the environment. You just don't play. It's not your average third person adventure game. He's actually using the whip to pull stuff on top of enemies
Mm-hmm.
and to start fires, to block enemies off to where they have to, go into that one punch mulligan mode and they start fighting and they could have easily done that to where like, yo, and it would have been mechanics that made sense. It's not an open world game, but you have mechanics to where you can fight. You can go ahead and pick up a weapon. You can jump and enemies can slap weapons out of your hands. It happens this should have been the game to where you make the movie, but interactable.
Mm-hmm.
And everything would have been because I know the performances are going to be A1. I can't say the
Of
performances are
course.
trash. I can't say at all. You're
Right.
spending all this money on graphics. Xbox, this is the spectacle showcase you need, right? If you're gonna recycle it, if it was set to be a VR game, and you just, hey, let's just make it let's just translate it to, no, it's already a failed project. You might as well just reboot and start over again. Stop trying to save these scrapped ideas that don't translate well.
Mm-hmm.
And you know it's not going to translate well. And then get mad or surprised that nobody wants to buy your first person Nathan Drake game.
Right.
That's why they went for, and you want to go up and compete against these other properties that do what you're doing. And nobody, I mean, because if that's the case, why don't I just go ahead and buy Ubisoft's what's that running game, the parkour game with the Asian
Oh,
one,
Mirror's Edge.
Mirror's Edge, you know?
Hold on.
If I wanna experience something that is that
Oh, I was
close.
about to say, but I know you ain't coming from Mirror's Edge. That
No,
was
no,
my
it's not a
game.
bad game at all. It's not a bad game at all. It's a fire game. Like
It's not
that's
for
a,
me.
I
That's all
mean,
I'll say.
if you were gonna do that, then at least capture some of those aspects that make the game
Okay.
you know interesting. I don't want to play first person, and I don't want like, it just doesn't make any sense anymore. Like, why would I waste my time on Indiana Jones and it's not a third person? Look at the set pieces in the game. You got the things that these are cultural things that you want people to connect with. Allow me to experience that and see it the way you saw it in third person. You want me? Let me go on a couple of pillars and let me make sure I don't step on any traps. These are the things that are gonna get people involved in the game. They're gonna put me in Indiana's world. Sell me the product, not in first person.
Mm-hmm.
Sell me the product. Who is this VR game for? Hmm? Right? Okay, then let it be a VR game and charge me $20. But if
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna force me, if you're gonna try to convince me to play an Indiana Jones game, which doesn't have any connection to the people I'm selling to, versus the people that know the game, but they're not gonna buy it because why would you make an Indiana Jones game set on adventure in first person? This isn't Avowed. This isn't Skyrim, right? There's no
Mm-hmm.
magic system.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a free roaming game. So why would it make sense for you to do that? And don't you think it's already oversaturated with first person games and you don't even do
You,
the
you
most?
know, you know why I think they chose the first person layout of stuff because with their third person games, there's a lot of bugs, and I think they probably wanted something that they could just ship out without doing the real maintenance.
Yeah, but
And you
at what
lose.
cost? Yeah, like
Why
you.
go this big? Just make the light this. Don't even make Harrison Ford the
See, that's the thing, bro. Like, remember, like what I keep saying, man. They're trying to bank off people's nostalgia, man. They're really trying so hard to milk these stories down to the gutter.
Mm,
Like, we've said this even with the Star Wars product, bro. Like, to be honest, bro, like the only thing left from Star Wars that I want to see is Andor season 2, because at least that has decent writing,
mm-hmm.
and Ahsoka, because I just want to get rid of all this Clone Wars trauma to the end. I just want to see it through the end and leave it alone.
You don't want to watch the Skeleton Crew with all the Stranger
No,
Things nostalgia, Tim?
no, no, I don't want to see it. I do not want to see it. I do not
Yeah.
want to see it whatsoever. But then, like, I get back on subject, man. It's just the nostalgia, man. They're trying to bank off like household names without backing it up with the quality that is necessary for it. Because,
Because
like, yes, I get it.
mm,
Like, out of all the LucasArts properties, Indiana Jones, it has a love. There's a love for it, yes, but not as big as the other properties. And I think maybe they're trying to use this game as a way to re-enter the franchise.
that's not
But
how you
then the
do
thing
it.
about it is, bro, if you want to do it, to be honest, I feel like if you really want to get people involved, I would have started with an anime first. Like, I know that's starting to be the norm for things now, but it
mm,
works. It
mm-hmm.
works. If you really truly want to give this particular character a fresh start with a newer audience, start with an anime. Start with an anime. Get people involved with the character, the lore aspects, because he jumps from multiple things. So it's a very interesting, perplexed story, man. And if you really wanted to enter that frame of like Uncharted and Tomb Raider again, but it's just you got to do the work because you can't. Because I think companies are trying to treat these things as like one and done or one and done and see if people like it, then milk it.
Yeah.
And that's not a way to go because, you know, when you're really invested into art, you really got to consider the future.
Yeah. Because you could tell like Xbox is banking on Game Pass being the thing of like, you know, I have Game Pass. I don't got to pay for it. Let me see if I'll try it and fall in love with it. Right. And that word of mouth, like, but like you said, it's like, if you don't put the work in, it doesn't matter. It's going to be a game that people simply install and uninstall. And that'll be it. There'll be no physical copies moved, no digital copies bought. And you'll be like, oh, I guess people aren't into Indiana Jones anymore. It's like, well, yeah, because you didn't do anything. Right. It's kind of like either there's certain, like you said, there's certain IPs of just like, even with Dune, it's like you have to remake Dune. Dune came out in our parents' generation. I had no idea what Dune was.
Didn't
You
even
have
know
to
it was before Star Wars.
right. Like, I had no idea. You know, so like there's certain things of like, again, like I think they've overestimated familiarity versus nostalgia. Because it's like realistically the people who would want to play Indiana Jones game would probably be like our fathers, you know, and our dads don't play video games. Because again, it's like for me, it's like I look at it the same way I look at Conan the Barbarian. I know who this person is. I respect the character and the lineage, but I don't care. I have no attachment to this character whatsoever as a gamer. You had a better chance of making a Han Solo first person shooter. If you really, you know, it's not like that was the route we're going to go. At least I know that character.
I mean, it's just very interesting that how, like, you know, one of the best Indiana Jones games out there is the Lego games.
That's
And it's like,
crazy.
if you mean to tell me if a Lego property could get something better, something right, it's like, come on, man, you just got to invest into it. You really do. Like even look what they've done with the Harry Potter series. Like, bro, like Hogwarts Legacy, like every Sony sale, that game is on sale.
Mm-hmm.
Because they are telling you, buy this game, invest into this property. And, you know, it really was something that a lot of people were missing, I would definitely say, because I definitely did feel that after when the movies were done, the games that followed them, like especially once the Lego games were done, it
Especially,
left a hole in
bro.
your chest. Like, what is there to play of this particular property? So that's why this game is, when you really look at it, pinnacle to the culture as of now. And then, you know, that little side Quidditch.
Sure, right?
Yeah,
Something for the kids, maybe. I have no
yeah,
idea, right? But
yeah. I mean,
even Harry Potter,
which
even
should have
Harry
been in the
Potter,
main
Tim, they're
title, but you
yeah,
know,
even Harry Potter, they're rebooting, right? They're working on another version of Harry Potter for HBO Max. Like even a franchise as long as more recent than that, they're still like, we got to figure out a way to get that next generation involved. I just don't see how you do that with a 70-something-year-old Harrison Ford in real life and an Indiana Jones that us being the parents now or a parent age you're not gonna put on the Last Crusade for your kid. Not necessarily.
Greatest of
Why?
the Lost Ark.
Why?
the only movie that they'll probably put on that is very recent is the one where he found out Shia LaBeouf was his son.
And people hate that. All the indie fans hate that movie. So
Oh
I
wow,
didn't.
I didn't even know that.
yeah, if you look at like the circle of people who are hardcore, they hate the skull, Crystal Skull, whatever. The people,
Hmm.
the Indiana Jones fans hate that movie.
I didn't. I thought that movie was actually. I didn't watch the whole thing, but from what I saw, it looked decent.
That's because we're not from the Indiana Jones generation. That's my whole
Yeah,
thing. Like,
yeah,
we're the audience they be catering to. And I'm like, I have zero attachment to this
yeah.
character.
Like I don't know who's making these decisions over there as far as who's the spearhead, but they obviously don't know what people want, and they obviously probably just don't like. Okay, so. Your best bet, your best idea was to make people play it in first person, but that's not what you experienced. It wasn't hardcore Henry. You know what I'm saying? So why would you try to pitch that to me?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my whole thing. If I played Halo, I'm gonna make they give me the opportunity to make Halo. I'm gonna fix what I felt was wrong with Halo story wise. And one of the problems, right, I would stop I would stop putting stuff in the books that should have been in the game.
Mm-hmm.
and I would have placed that in the main continuity. So now everybody understands this one storyline, and there's a couple of branches, but you can see the rest of the tree. That's the
Mm-hmm.
goal.
Mm-hmm.
And so with Indiana Jones, you don't do anything to sell me this game, right? Give me a set piece. Why didn't you sell me a set piece that I can play from the
From
game,
jump, yeah.
from jump, and versus a oh, cutscene, CGI. We will make sure that you and your rest of your clan get eliminated, Mr. Jones. Like how many times have we seen the monocle German villain? Yeah, like it's not that don't that did not make me want to watch the movie. He's an
Mm-hmm.
archaeologist that doesn't take no for an act. No, man, I got
See,
Nathan Drake. I'm gonna
yeah.
watch. I'm gonna play Uncharted. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
play a guy who's witty, right? Who has a couple of jokes, charisma. Sell me. Like you're not selling me
A
this.
likable supporting
A
cast.
likable supporting cast, right? And and
Yeah.
and a likable supporting cast and events that are actually a true adventure for today's time.
Yeah.
India, if you're gonna sell me Indiana Jones, add some Resident Evil remake flair to it, right? No, this would make sense. Yeah, let's make it a game. Let's make these puzzles actually dope. You have none of that in the game from what I can see. None of that. Yeah, you have a couple of platforming, but it's not significant. There's no stakes. So why would I play this game? But enough of that, man. I think yeah, it's a dud, man. I don't think it's going anywhere. I
Yeah.
think I can't stand where they drop a game. Oh, I can't believe nobody likes this game. Like, why would you? If you yourself know it is not better than Uncharted, it's not better than Tomb Raider,
Mm-hmm.
you lost. If your staff is not looking forward to playing the game, if you go and say, "Hey guys, what games are you playing?" and none of your staff members have bought Indiana Jones, your game is not fun.
When they say, hey, only certain people are getting review copies, that is usually not a vote of confidence.
Hey, yeah, because
Because when your
yeah,
game is
we
fire, you don't care who gets it.
we
You
definitely
said
can't
too?
give this to Marcus Brownlee, right? Because Marquez definitely gonna tell us the truth. You feel me? That company went bankrupt. This is the trashiest car I've ever. Yeah, because you're not giving us a good product, man. You know, like, and then the fact that you did that, we're not idiots. You will lose your campaign. You will lose. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm sorry to the staff members, but you guys were planning this guy out for 3 months. Right? You guys came to a conclusion that a first person Indiana Jones game, right? And if you wanted to play it safe, you could have just copied Uncharted, reskinned that thing, because you found a system that works.
The world can
Just
always use more
reskin
Uncharted.
it. Yeah, China doesn't have
Always.
that problem. Tencent doesn't have that problem. Horizon Zero Dawn, right?
Which
They
we're going
don't.
to get to soon.
They don't have that problem, right? Power World. It just, you know
Mm,
what I mean, but okay. Yeah, that's it,
right.
man. We stay too
It's
long on this,
formal.
but
Yeah. I don't-
we
yeah. I just, it's just one of those things where it's like, again, like we look at these companies, like, I think when we start kind of like reflecting on the year, it's just like there were so many avoidable mistakes from every angle. Like you could have just pivoted just a little bit and you would have been fine. But nope, you triple down
just copy the
on
answers on the paper, man. Just copy the answers on the paper
what
for the
haven't they
test,
gotten in
man.
a while? Oh, everyone's crying for Uncharted. They haven't been Uncharted since PS4. We're gonna give them that in Xbox form.
And it's already an established franchise, right?
How can you
This is
lose?
what you want. You want to get me into the world? They say, "Yo, we got to go with action. We have to have action. We have to have good puzzles, right? Let's take the best things of Tomb Raider. Let's take the best things of Uncharted. Uncharted has unforgettable set pieces. Let's take the unforgettable set pieces of Indiana Jones and wrap it up times 10. Let's take the adventure survival mechanics of
Tomb
Tomb
Raider.
Raider and
Mm-hmm.
wrap it up times 10. And
And we
let's
got
add some
Troy
graphics
Baker.
on them thing, and we got, you know what I'm saying? We
You can't lose.
You can't lose, but you want to
But
lose.
you want
You want to
to.
lose, man. You want to lose.
Boy. But speaking of games that I think are not setting themselves up for success, I wrote it down because I just wanted to have not necessarily a talk about it specifically, although I do think it's relevant to the game. But Stalker 2 released last week, and while we all know, because we're a little bit more tuned in than your average consumer about like what's been going on with that development, right? It got delayed initially because it's a primarily Ukraine-based team. Obviously, we know what's going on in Ukraine right now. They started production during COVID, so it's just been a double whammy of just like
Ah,
hardships, right?
yeah.
It's hard to program when there's missile strikes going over your head, right? Like I definitely get it.
Oh
But
man.
they put out Stalker 2. All the early access, early reviews said the same thing. There's probably a good game here somewhere, but these glitches and bugs will not allow me to get to it. Right now, of course, they've done a day one patch. I think they've dropped 2 patches, maybe 3, in the time since the game has come out to kind of address some of the bigger issues. But I wanted to know your guys' thoughts on this because I feel like, especially with a year like this, where every single detail is being nitpicked, and especially when you have like the consumer's graces, right? Of like, say you have to delay the game again. I think people would have been understanding of like, hey, do what you need to do. Like, y'all are
Yeah.
going through it. Who knew there was a war going to happen? Like, take all the time you need, right? For them to still kind of put it out. Like, do you guys feel like this is a game that's doomed, essentially?
No.
It depends on the politics, bro. Because what people don't really realize, man, and this is something that we have learned from COVID, that the economy impacts all of this stuff, man, because it's literally impacting your life. Because yes, these are developers who are going to work, but who's funding them? And of course, you got to release a product. Like, yes, I do believe like a lot of people would have like invested into it digitally, but it's just a simple fact of the matter is like, bro, you're going through a war. So that's even crazy itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you're trying to make ends meet by, fulfilling your daily requirements, to push out a product to gain some revenue coming in. But it's just like the fact is like you're going through a war. So me being a human person, I would just say like, hey, we're trying to develop something, but right now we're going through something harsh. So can you just to help us to support our families, can you, donate to our GoFundMe, donate to our company page? Because, when this settles, we would definitely like to make the best product possible. But right now, our headspaces are just not in the best of place, and we need the best funding possible
Mm-hmm.
to stay alive.
Mm-hmm. Literally. Like,
And I
that's
do
the
feel
crazy
like, bro,
part.
we really need to start to really understand the humanity aspects of those things. And, to say, but I kind of feel like, are companies allowed to show that human nature? Like, bro, like we are scared for our lives. How can you tell me to do all these edits to make sure this is together when I just never know when I look up?
Mm-hmm.
It's tough.
Yeah. That's right. Let me get your thoughts on it for because I have some thoughts on that
Um.
too.
So yeah. Like, okay. If you can't have a game or a company if there's no people to play it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
you can't have a kingdom if there's no people to king. People to lead or people under your kingdom. So you have to acknowledge these things are these what we do is a bonus, is entertainment.
Mm. Mm.
It's necessary. I absolutely believe it's necessary, and I also believe it's not as important as certain things. You know what I'm saying? This is I wouldn't say almost, I would say a privilege to be able to have it because you have everything else functioning the way you want it to, right? To be able to, hey man, long day at work, let me get some R&R, let me be creative. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? Let me
Mm.
express myself. But in wartime, you guys, what because of what's going on, who has time to express themselves? I would have if I was like, yo, listen, we have to put the game on hold. You know,
Yeah.
well, I'll move that. I'll disband the team temporarily, or if I'm Microsoft, hey, can you guys help? Since you guys obviously are into charity work, this is a situation that's beyond our control. Um,
You got the bread.
some of them are probably already like, hey, we gotta make bank. Let's just get it out there and we'll work with. I see two things, you know. They're probably like, hey, what do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to release? They probably had a meeting already. You have the option to delay it again, or no, let's get it out. People have been waiting on long enough. You know, we don't want to do that. You know, we'll fix it along while we go. You know, we'll get it done. We'll work hard, and they just probably wanted to get it out to breathe. So I don't know what they're, you know, I can see the creative side of, for me, all right, I want to do some things right now, like with the way things are, I might as well just get it out there now and worry about the consequences later.
For
You know,
sure.
the only thing I can do is learn. So with them, they probably just they want to get this in the hands of the people, and they're probably banking on, hey, maybe these guys. The fact that people are saying there's a game in here somewhere, they're you know they're saying not saying that okay, I'll give you guys a pass. But I would have delayed the game. Um, once I realized the entire staff was Ukraine, I was like, come on, man. Any game that's coming out of either Russia or Ukraine, I'm not gonna my expectations for you to, or wherever, I'm not expecting you guys to finish the game. Like I just this COVID kind of helped us realize. That's why I haven't been so that's why I really haven't been so gun ho on this gen. Because those were world events. What can you do? You know, the world has to work in a stabilized form for you to even have entertainment. Other than that, you don't have anything.
Definitely, right? You're not going
Everything is
to
going to be spears and arrows, and you know
right. God forbid World War III breaks out tomorrow. You're not gonna be like, man, but that last Mission
the
Impossible, right? Like that's the last thought in your
the
mind. Yeah,
mundane is what you want. The
yeah,
mundane is a blessing. Having a
yeah,
knowing that tomorrow might just be exactly the same is a good thing,
yeah.
right?
It's a
Because you have
privilege
the
we
option to
take
make it
for granted.
interesting. Yeah, you
Yeah.
have the option to make it interesting.
Hmm.
You know, so. Yeah, I would have either, you know, because to me, what I was thinking is like, okay, they probably came to terms. They were probably like, yo, what do you guys want to do? Hey, let's get it out there, man. The people waited long enough. We'll fix whatever. We'll do whatever we can on our end. Or the other hand, it was like, yo, if we delay it, we don't have any, you know, there's a lot of things. So I don't know exactly. Those are the scenarios that I see in my mind. Um, am I upset? I waited out, man. I would have taken a delay. I would have been okay with that. Those are events you have no control over, man.
Yeah,
You know, your parent, somebody, you're losing a loved one, da da da. You have to yield, man. The machine cog has to stop. It's
yeah.
not, you know, we're not. This isn't Skynet. So yeah, if you don't have a people, what are you gonna do? There's nobody to play our game.
I agree. I think the only thing that I will say, right, because I'm in agreement with both of you guys. Like, I think there was a chance and opportunity here to really speak to the humanity of the teams behind these products that we consume, right, and enjoy and entertain ourselves with. I think the risk that's being made here, though, however, is you lose just by default a little bit of that empathy once you release a product for purchase, right? So essentially, it's like if I'm a fan of a musician and the musician's like, hey, through a vlog, I was able to get this album out, but I've been going through things emotionally, mentally, whatever the case may be. I can empathize with that, right? The humanity side of me can empathize with it. But once you tell me here is this like the best of what I could do at this time that I now have to purchase with my own hard-earned money through all the stuff that I'm going through, you now open yourself up to almost you got to take with whatever comes with that, right? You may not
Okay.
get that same level of empathy now that I have to pay for this product because I'm paying for something that is, by your own admittance, not your best work. That, by your own admittance, is incomplete. So like that's why I was like I wanted to discuss it. Comes like I think yes, I do think that just delaying it would have been the best. Like I think again you have people are going to be irrational, right? But I think you would have gained the majority, and you could even tell with some of the reviewers, like maybe there's deeper critiques that they want to give, and they're holding back out of respect for the development team, right? Like imagine going through all you go through, you put out a game, and every major publication is kicking its back in, right? You'd be like, yo, like what was the point? I just
Yeah.
think like that's just something that you risk of like, even with the podcast, right? If our quality was completely off, right? If we didn't make necessary edits on the back end to put out a quality product and everyone's like, this is the worst podcast I've ever heard. you got to kind of take what comes with it because you've now released it. You hope people will be understanding, but they, especially if it's something that they have to part with their money for, you've now opened an unnecessary door. It's just the way I look at it.
Oh yeah, okay, I agree
That's
with
all.
you. I like to add on too, and then at the same time, this this thing is just a little too political. So because they're like, oh well, billions are being sent over there, XYZ. So, you got that type of
No,
rebuttal that
yeah, of course. That's what I'm saying.
you know
You're never going to get 100% of anything. I just feel
yeah.
like in
So
that situation is like you have, again, you essentially have the goodwill of the people to lose.
yeah,
Right?
and in that
That's
sense,
all I'm saying.
a delay would have a delay would have sufficed.
Yeah,
So
we all would have been like, hey, do what you need to do.
yeah, a
Like,
month delay that would have been fine.
yeah.
So
If a vow got
yeah,
to come first, like by all
Give
means.
us a delay. We will have to announce a delay, but hey, if you would like to support us during this time due to the
Yes.
political reasons,
you could get
Yes.
here's
early
our
access.
GoFundMe. So
Okay.
that way, they could be sustained while they actually wait,
I agree. I just thought it was worth bringing up. I'm just like, man, like it's such a touchy thing of like in any other scenario, right? In any stable scenario, if you had done this, I'm kicking you back in. Like I'm hopping on this microphone and letting
Yeah,
y'all have it. But in this situation, it's like
easily. Yeah.
1000%. But like in this case, like you guys have all my empathy. I'm just like, I just think when you release it like this, of like you again, especially some of the less involved game consumers who are like, oh, let me watch this review real quick. I see this game in the store. I did like the first Stalker, and all you're seeing is wait. I may never come back to it now. It might be fire in 3 months. Too late. I'm already in 2025 playing Capcom Final Collection 2. Like, I don't care anymore because that's just the way, like the machine works, essentially. But speaking of games that we can kick it back in, right? Trying to lighten up a little bit, turn up a little bit, go on a little run, and letting them have it. Although it is not confirmed, right? We don't know for sure. And given that the politics of the gaming world, we probably won't know at least until the second season is done. Fellas, Streets is talking. The subreddits are subredditing. The tweets are tweeting. The blue skies or whatever the blue sky comparison would be. Mortal Kombat 1 is dead, fellas. It's dead.
As I predicted in previous pods before.
As S. Frank predicted a couple pods in a row now. And it's crazy because had it been, if someone had said this about Street Fighter or Tekken, you'd be like, man, get out of here. I don't care. I don't care if this leaker has been 10 for 10. You lying right now. Like, but Mortal Kombat, we're all just kind of like, I mean, yeah. Like, yeah. So for those who don't know, some of the reasons that were given, and again, it may not be a situation where that's the case, but all signs seem to be that there is at least some credibility to it. The lack of sales, not only for the expansion pass, but for the game in general, right? So while Mortal Kombat 1 has sold well and has sold well in comparison to the other big two, Mortal Kombat 1 in terms of sale, or so Mortal Kombat as a franchise usually laps the other two, right? So I think the last numbers I saw was like they were at 5 million and some change for Mortal Kombat 1, whereas like Mortal Kombat 11 did like 15 million. So it's like you're talking about a game where there's been a significant drop off of revenue. We've already talked about how it's performed at Evo, right? And those numbers are like don't even crack 1,000 in terms of entrance. We've all kicked every single decision that they've done into the dirt on this podcast in particular, regrettably, right? Like shaking our heads, like I just wish I would just kind of get it together, and it just continues to bottom out.
Your chance to throw the audible was the expansion.
Yeah.
And it was a trash.
Yeah.
Right? So now you have an audience to where the story and the gameplay matters almost exactly.
At this point. Yeah.
Almost exactly.
You know what?
I think that's the first anomaly. Two, you have Street Fighter now has a presence and Tekken has a presence. So I think that's probably where most of your sales went, honestly, if I'm gonna tell the truth. Like, why would I want to play Mortal Kombat when I could play this game? Like, You know, for example, because man, I'm just tired of this. Wait, you mean to tell me I press an assist button, but it's not a character I could play? What? You know,
I
I'm
thought they
just
were
saying.
focusing on the 3D area. Why are all the 3D area characters locked to cameos? This is weird.
Well, you mean I can't play as Kano? But Kano's in the other game. No, not in this one. He's just an assist carry. Where's Sonya? Where's Jack? These people want to see, because if I'm gonna play a Street Fighter game, right? You gotta understand the same reason people didn't like Third Strike. There was no Guile, no Cammy, and where's the rest of the other characters? Like, why? Who is Remy? I don't care
Right.
about this guy from France. Give
Right.
me my American, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Sean. Oh, okay. Ken and Ryu's in the game? Okay, okay. But then these other casts, like who are these other people?
Who are these
Q?
people?
Who is Q? Trench coat man? What is
Yeah.
12? What is this? What is nah man. Don't give me this. So now you guys don't learn from that game and y'all want to go ahead and do Mortal Kombat. So now we do Mortal Kombat. Okay. Sub-Zero and Scorpion are brothers? All right, I'll allow it. I'll allow it. All right, man. So now let's see the ending of Mortal Kombat. Why is Raiden from Mortal Kombat 11 here now?
Yeah.
Right? So why
You
why am I
see,
fighting a Sub-Zero Quan Chi? And like you ruined the ending with the game. Like now you're a chance to perform an audible, like the famous Peyton Manning. You had the time to throw an audible. This was it. This was supposed to be it. Once I saw it was Havoc, but you can't just do Havoc for the sake of Havoc. That's a cartoon villain,
hmm,
right? You need the Havoc that you had from Deception, one from the comic books that was deep, that had a little bit of merit to his madness, right? He was a different form of chaos, a calm, but also didn't mind stuff blowing up at the same time. That would have been a more of an interesting take because that draws you into he's a mysterious character, but I want to see everything burn. You know, okay, Skeletor.
right, with
Okay,
his
right.
council of hymns.
Okay, okay, Skeletor. Let's do it, right? And so
Yeah.
now you do this, and we see that you're obviously. To me, all I saw was a Marvel campaign. Hey, Marvel, you want us to give you a fighting game? Forget about Marvels and Capcom. Come on, let's let's
Right.
let's talk. Let's
Did you
talk.
notice how he made Baraka play a lot like a Wolverine would play? Huh? Huh?
Eh? Eh? Eh?
Huh?
Did you see the Kang reference? Huh? All of this felt like a commercial for the boys.
Kevin Feige.
Twitter. I can't wait to man. I really wish I can have Spider-Man as a guest character in this game. Like, not like, what are you guys doing? After that, oh, and we're gonna change the like, hey, 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 Ed. I was thinking, Cyrax and Sector, ketchup and mustard, right? Like, I didn't really care for Cyrax and Sector being changed, but it's like the lineup, right? Guest character, the game. Like, okay, you got it. For me, this is when I knew the momentum died for that game. You have Homelander and Omni-Man in the same game. Right, these guys are the popularity is right, and then crickets.
Yeah,
It
but I mean
was it
that's
was fun for an hour.
but
That was
that's kind of what we talked about when we were talking about Ghostface last time.
yeah.
Like we would kind of went through all the things of like here's these things that should have been moments for you guys, and
They
nobody
weren't.
cared.
They
Nobody
weren't.
cared, and all you would see is like it's either indifference or like here is this extremely large negative of like I don't
And I
like
think they
this.
took too long to come out. I think they took way too long to come out. Um, for those characters, you should have kept it at a decent pace, in my opinion, because you already showed this everybody. All right, there's no like reason for you guys to like. There's no mystery.
Hmm.
And yeah, it was just the story mode should have saved it. The part two should have saved it, but it didn't. There were no new characters. The story mode, you're playing as characters that you are normally accustomed playing. accustomed to playing to. Didn't
That
expand on the
that
story.
was the other
You didn't let
issue.
us cover other characters because we're like, okay, we played with this cast, but then where is this gonna go after you just had an Endgame, Infinity Endgame? You killed the best version of Shang Tsung ever. Um, and you didn't do you. This could have been in everybody's origin story, which I would have been okay with, but it you ended it. Right? Everybody
Hmm.
came into being, and then after that, you ended it. So the game. How do you recover from Armageddon? You guys put your game through Armageddon, literally. So it's
Already,
and now
yeah.
already staff wise now because the game is done. Yeah, we're gonna put a lid on that. Oh, so yeah, it's done. It's a pressed sandwich with no just bread, toast bread. Couldn't find any cheese or bologna,
Right.
so you just toast the bread
Couldn't figure out the condiments.
and all you got is imagination. You know what I'm saying? You put your ketchup and mustard,
A
and
really
this is
nice
my
brioche
toast.
bun. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Once that happened, there was no way. There was no way, right? You do all this for nothing. You all that for nothing. Nothing meant anything anymore because you already ended it. What could Havoc showing up mean,
Hmm.
right? And him having all now conveniently, this man has the Infinity Gem. He is the Infinity Gauntlet. Is the Infinity Gauntlet
Hmm. And it means nothing.
again?
Yeah. He has a
So
dragon tied up, has no relevance, and will never become important
no
later.
way. I mean, this would have been a great time to add Dagon and Tavon and make them worthwhile. Oh, nobody wants to see them. Well, you have the option to make people want to. That's what this whole thing is.
Or it's supposed to have been.
You're not subject to the past anymore. You can make Sujinko interesting. You can do it. That's the whole purpose of this. We don't you already have the idea to give a different take on the ketchup and mustard. Okay, that's something. It's different, right? But it's something. Okay, this is gonna be a different version of Noob Saibot. All right. You have the option. You could have did something with the Anenra demon inside smoke. Nothing.
Not even acknowledging
Right.
it.
You could have did something. Yeah, you could have did something with the the Onaga tribe, right? Like, yo, these guys, the reptile clan are like lesser high beings of the Omaga tribe, right?
Right.
You could have
Potential
had
conduits for Onaga. Yeah.
Shinron without the Dragon Balls. This is my true form. The Dragon Balls will no longer hold me. You could have did something, but you did nothing with the story. You have all these interesting characters. You could have made the Black Dragon clan. This would have been an opportunity to bring back Jarek. He's been
Yeah.
such a meme now. Play on that. You want momentum.
Or turn him
People
into
want
the realest, illest, dopest
endless
character you
version and I have
ever.
the laugh.
Hmm.
Yeah, you guys don't have Kano, but we're gonna give you Javik. Right? Why not? And now you guys do these patterns to where people are being able, yo, that's just Supergirl. That's just Superman.
Mm.
You're gonna sell me these characters, make it make sense. The combat and now the momentum died for the game. You're having the best versions of your competitors. They're not like Street Fighter. As soon as Akuma dropped and Bison dropped, Street Fighter, all of a sudden, we don't hear nobody complaining anymore.
You do, but
Crickets.
not for the things that
Yeah,
like they usually. Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah. Another Avatar skin. What? Like, what did
yeah,
you expect?
but
Like the Ninja Turtles thing should have told you what time it was about to be.
so now once Tekken drop Tifa, it's over, guys. They drop even if they drop Sephiroth. With no sword Seppi.
They won't go that
I'm
far.
just saying they
Yeah.
won't
Mm.
they won't, but say they drop Tifa. Once they drop Tifa and Tekken graphics. Dun, 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 dun. You're not gonna hear nobody complain. Everybody, Tifa got the size. Oh man, this is the first for Tekken. Dead or
Harada
alive
don't care. Yeah.
features. Got it on the play. Got it on the Xbox. No. Crossplay. It's a wrap. It's Saran. Y'all like it's a wrap. Tekken, to me, the complaints for Tekken are just
No, we'll get there. We'll get there because I do
with
have something to say about Tekken.
besides the microtransaction. Yeah, that online store is garbage. But
Well,
if it wasn't there,
no. There's more. There's more.
yeah,
There's
okay,
more. But
okay,
we'll
but yeah,
yeah.
and because a lot of the complaints for Tekken, unless you guys have different ones,
You mean
I
Mortal
don't.
Kombat?
We know for like Mortal Kombat and Tekken, I'm just saying, like, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they both for Mortal Kombat, man. I mean, I see it. Like, your product is in a Goldilocks zone, meaning the story got to be good and the gameplay got to be good, right? You have all these characters that you're showing me, and I'm like, why can't I play as these guys, right?
And out of the two, you got maybe a half of two, right? Because I'm like, the gameplay is good. It is good, but the cameo system is divisive at best.
Where's Jade?
At best.
Where's Jade? Where's the Adenians?
Combat
And
pack
people,
number 3.
okay, but you guys did nothing with it. You guys did nothing with the story. It's like you guys did not even read your lore. You're gonna do a reboot and you didn't read your lore. Like that's my whole thing. And you have people who already have channels with your lore.
Yes.
What like the due
Bit
diligence
by
doesn't
bit
make
by bit.
any
I can't.
sense.
You basically have video wikia. And you're just like,
It does. History behind the warrior.
mm-hmm.
I go back to the channel. If I could give it another brand new, like I would. Thank you. Thank you.
For
I didn't
making
know
this make
this.
sense. Yeah.
I didn't know this. I didn't know this. Thank you. And that's my frustration.
But
Y'all did what and then you're surprised, right? Why do you want to hold back the team obviously likes Mortal Kombat. The team are happy to release they're happy, but this combat cast, it lost steam. You could tell the undertones, man, it
yeah,
just wasn't the same.
the reveals almost like, where is the enthusiasm?
Yeah, it just wasn't there. It's straight turmoil, and you can just like, And
Yeah.
this should have been the greatest Mortal Kombat ever. But
It could have been.
that story did put a dent in the can,
What I
man.
was gonna say is like Tim off mic had like a really good flip on how they could have made Cyrex and Sector work. So I wanted to
Okay, yeah, go
let
ahead,
you
go
say
ahead.
it for the pod.
Okay. Well, I would definitely go into a synopsis of how I would have made the entire game better. Okay, so I'll start with this. Okay, so you remember at the end of Aftermath, you had a split decision between Liu Kang and Shang Tsung.
Hmm.
Um, so what I would have thought was, and this is something that Cetrion brought up, that she is the opposite to Shinnok. She represents light, he represents dark. So okay, it made sense that due to what Liu Kang and Shang Tsung did, they became the new light and dark. So basically, all right, let's just say, all right, since they both won in their particular side, now they're creating the new universe together. They have to, but in some form of a way, like almost like a mirror dimension. Like, like remember like on What If, when Ultron was like, oh, I can see you
Hmm.
to the Watcher, but
Hmm.
you can't touch him. So, well, if I can't touch you, I mean, if I can't kill you, then, we're just stuck here. So we have to make this world together. Because I did kind of feel like, well, how is this story going to work if Liu Kang neutralized the main villains? And that's why we have this choppy mess of a cameo system where it's the classic version of these characters, and you got all these subtle hints in the story, but where are these characters?
Hmm.
So I would have said was, all right, they're both now stuck in this mirror verse where, Liu Kang is the light, Shang Tsung is the dark. So they created the new era together. And it would have made sense that, yes, in this present era, Liu Kang has his people, Shang Tsung has his people, and we are in combat for many generations for control of the realm. Boom. Now, when it comes to, a Pacific group of ninjas, I've always realized they've always worked into pair of threes. Because when you really look at it in the original timeline, it was Bihan, Cyrax, and Sector. And then you had, like, I would say the lower tier of people, which was Smoke, Kuai Liang, and Frost. But then you realize in Mortal Kombat 11, they kind of showcase like a flip in a sense. Like when Frost became like basically the real Cyber Sub-Zero and alongside them. So I was like, you know what? When they made them women, I was like, you know what? This could actually work. For this new era, you have these three brothers with supernatural abilities: Sub-Zero, Scorpion, and Smoke. Okay, and then, here comes this, since we are a clan of international ninjas, but they don't have powers. So how does this work? Okay, Sector is a master builder, blacksmith, all that other good stuff. So she creates weapons for the clan to keep up with these supernatural brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at it, you look at their personal style. Sector is an arsonist. So fire, napalm, you name it. She just wants to see it burn to the ground. Okay. Cyrax is from Africa, so she uses a lot of hunting techniques. So like laser trip mines, laser wires, laser this, laser that. Okay. Okay, and now here comes Frost. Okay, that's a very particular name. Here you have this Bihan loyalist, this person who worships. Because it actually would make more sense that Frost kind of
Would
like
have been in line with him. Mm-hmm.
worships and aligns with Bihan.
Over Qualian, yeah.
So, but then, all right, she has no powers, but how does she compete? Oh, here are these liquid nitrogen grenades. Makes sense. So you have the original Supernatural brothers, and then you have these three ninjas, the Techno ninjas. And it makes perfect sense. Now, where they went wrong with this story was, like, you made them love interests. No, bro. Stop that. Stop doing that. And then, of course, what really hurt this game, bro, like, and especially, we're definitely good people doing that same thing is once you watch that little after movie with all the cutscenes together, and then they looking at this ending like, so we just went straight to Armageddon, and it wasn't good. So how do we even go? Where do we even go from here? And then, like you said, Jory, you give us this Marvel version of Havoc, and it's just like, bro, like, and you didn't even see what happened to him. Like, you just skipped straight to Bihan.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying, man. Like, if they would have really focused about the core mechanics of the story, because my thing about this Mortal Kombat, and this is a very strong belief that I have, I wouldn't have done no guest characters, period, for this one. I felt like MK11 hit a spot where I am good. Like, I've seen who I wanted to see. Let's focus on other things. So here's this new era created by the Light and the Dark Titans. Okay. Bring back a lot of people. You brought back Natara. Give us a new version of Sonya like we've never seen it before. Give us a new version of Kano like you've never seen before. Give us some other members of the Black Dragon and how they're able to get this. Like, I mean, after this flop with Garrus, I'm like, bro, bring Tremor back now.
Mm.
Give us back Gara now, bro. Like, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this time giant no more. And it could have worked, bro. And then, like how you said, Tavon and Dagon, like you brought a dragon, like
You brought
that
their
has a
dragon.
that
Mm-hmm.
you
The
brought back
Mortal
a dragon.
Kombat dragon.
You brought back a dragon that has a lot of heavy lore connections, and it's just like, but where are the people that's supposed to complement this? It's like, no. And then, like I said, man, it was too many guest characters. It was too many. It was way too many.
Yeah. To Jory's point, like I think the kind of like the distress smoke should have been in the air when you guys dropped Omni-Man and Homelander and nobody cared. That should have been like, ooh, maybe we should course correct from now. Put some of the legacy characters we had for Pack 3 into Pack 2. And if we're gonna do, Ghostface or whatever, like we'll save them for absolute last because this ain't working.
But you know what it is, bro. People have caught on ever since Injustice 2 that these are templates. Like when you really look at Injustice 2 compared to Mortal Kombat 11, you see like, yeah, they're just using they establish a certain template so that way you could predict who's going to be in this next game,
which is not good because then there's no surprise anymore. You're just like,
because there's I was
there you go.
I was like Omni-Man, Superman, and like, let me guess, Homelander is like a male version of Supergirl, and I called it. We all
even
called
Green
it.
Lantern.
And then look at Ghostface. Like you see in Rambo animations all day. It's like it's just copy and paste, bro. That's all it really is. Like the only person that I would say you put a lot of effort into was the best version of Striker we have ever had is Peacemaker.
Who will never show up in a Mortal Kombat game again because he's a licensed guest character. I think to kind of culminate both of you guys' points is like you, even with all the missteps, it's like you had the potential for some interesting stories on the table that you just sidestep. Like I remember at one point in the original story of Mortal Kombat 1, you had like a Kano style Sonya, and it's just like up, and you move on. It's like, man, that would have been, like if we're gonna do the multiverse, like at least let me see where this goes. But neither of them are playable, so it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Or like how Tim said, it's like, yeah, you could have these three things of three sub ninjas that, show the technological side of the Lin Kuei, but that can't work because Frost is not playable. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have all like the template is right there, and then you just like, here's this fairly obvious piece
Also,
that you're just not gonna
you
include.
know what I also saw was a bad sign for Jade because I realized ever since Mortal Kombat X, they've been doing this leapfrog with Jade and Tanya. Oh, Mortal Kombat 9, Jade is in the game. Mortal Kombat X, oh, Jade is not in the game. But we see all the other revenants. Where's Jade? Oh no, she's just not. She's just not here. Mortal Kombat 11. Oh, the revenant Jade is back. Oh, and also a pre-time skip Jade is also in the game as well. And then here comes the Tanya trailer, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
the final leaks of the character roster. I'm like, I see,
At this point, y'all gotta tech in the game. Everybody gotta be there, and we don't care.
So that's also my thing with this of like, and that's why I think we had said this before, like leading up to this game of like, if you're going to do these legacy fighter titles, right? The 25-year Mortal Kombat, 25-year Street Fighter, guess what? With that comes a lot of characters that people have literally grown up with and fallen in love with. With Mortal Kombat, you have, even if you went for just the bare necessities, that's already at least 15 characters that have to be in every Mortal Kombat game. At least. So this, like Tim said, this whole leapfrog thing of like, it does, because the minute you take out Melina, where's Melina? You take out Jade, where's Jade? You take, like,
I
you
realized
have to.
it's two characters. They did leapfrog with is Jade and Cabal together. Mortal Kombat 9, Jade and Cabal. Mortal Kombat X. Oh, where's Jade and Cabal? Mortal Kombat 11. Oh, Jade and Cabal are back. Mortal Kombat 1. Where's Jade and Cabal?
It just,
Per- Personally, man, Mortal Kombat 11 should have been one.
Yes. Like, the only character I wish they would have fixed was Shang Tsung, because that was very lazy. I felt
it
like if you
was.
had MK1's Shang Tsung and MK11, you could have ended it right there.
Oh, that's the best
Version of Shang Tsung
version
we've
of
ever
Shanks.
had.
I'm like, yo, y'all can't throw this guy away. He's not even himself. You know what I'm saying? He's not Shang Tsung. I'm like, all you guys had to do was make this Umaga centric Mortal Kombat.
At
Bring back
least.
Tav at least. Bring back Taven and Dagon. Y'all could have turned Umaga into Shenron. Let's go on this treasure quest. Make sure they don't get the three Dragon Balls or the
The
Kamidokus.
Kankami Dogu.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel me?
And that's another thing. Like, so you had this whole Kami Dogu quest with Havoc, and it just went where?
Oh, and then once I
Because
saw that
apparently the
they turned,
Komodogu are different depending on the universe you're in. It's like, what
yeah,
does that even mean?
yeah, what does that mean? And then so now another thing is like, okay, why? Once I saw that version of Havoc, I already knew that it was not gonna. I already knew. I was like, yeah, okay. When I saw him at the ending, I said, okay, let me hear him talk. Yes. What you like? I'm like Scooby Doo, Skeletor. Once I saw they was going for, I said, "Yeah, this is. I want everything to build." I'm like, yeah. I'm like, okay, yeah, they killed my
Throwing his head
dog.
as a
So,
greeting.
I
Yeah,
mean, I would
no, that
definitely.
would have been fired, right? But he had no. This Havoc should have been a calm, he should have almost moved like Kira from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. That's the Havoc I wanted.
Or even Dio. I'm just
Or
like,
even
you
or
don't
even,
know, you don't know what to expect. Like, I did not think he would do this. Okay, like,
you know what I'm saying? Like, but none of that. Or even you even though he's not a popular JoJo's Bizarre Adventure villain, he would have made sense if Havoc moved like that. Um Diavolo.
Diavolo.
Diavolo, he would
Yeah,
have worked. He would have worked. He would have excelled in a character like that would have excelled in this storyline.
yeah, definitely,
But they didn't
definitely.
they just, they don't do any lore hunting. They don't know that there's YouTubers who's doing their work for them. This should have been 2 weeks max storyline.
I do
But no,
I do
heartbreaking.
believe Warner Brothers, or I would say NetherRealm together, are not going to be upfront about this until the season is done.
For sure.
Because I've foreseen that becoming a habit lately. Because like I said, they don't want to announce anything because they want people to still buy it just because of brand loyalty, which I feel like will happen to a certain extent. But it's just like, I was even thinking about like, future tournaments and all this other stuff. It's like, I don't feel like these guest characters are going to sell this game, bro. And then like how Jory mentioned, like, some of them came out too late, bro. Some of them
Yeah,
came out
Too
too
late.
late, bro. Like the hype of the boys and,
Invincible.
Invincible didn't really work for it.
Amazon hurt y'all. Amazon hurt y'all, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
the
just, you
boys'
do,
reception was divisive. Most people didn't like season 2 of Invincible. Like,
yeah.
so all that is done.
Yeah. And,
And it took too long.
Yeah,
You guys,
Ghostface did not come out for Halloween. I was
right.
like, you
And
came right out before Thanksgiving. I was like,
and the
bro,
Scream
what?
movie they wanted to tie it to was delayed. So yeah, so it's like
no
Peacemaker.
victory.
They
No
have to
victory.
reboot the DC universe, so who knows if he's, like, we know he's in, but we don't know to what extent. So all that
Yeah.
stuff with him doesn't
No,
matter.
not only that, but like people underestimated the loyalty of the Zack Snyder universe. They
I,
underestimated
I
it.
don't even think it came down to loyalty. I
No,
just
I mean, because I like for me, like sorry, we'll talk about it after the pod, but like um I had a feeling this game is gonna be kaput because look at how WB was moving. Okay, yo, they're not receiving this. We didn't make the money that we're supposed to make, and we spent how much on this game? They're not because of today's economy.
they're not
They
buying the
cancel. Wow,
microtransactions.
You
They don't want
took
to buy a
away the
$50
crypt.
expansion.
You took
Right.
and
away
you
the
took away the
crypt
crypt.
Mm-hmm.
for microtransactions.
Mm-hmm.
That's two red flags to me. It's like, first of all, MK11 had one of the best crypt experiences. I enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
And you took that away. Like Ant keeps saying with these consoles, like every generation we just get less.
And there's so much things working against Mortal Kombat. Like you fumbled Ermac. Y'all had to go back and remake Ermac and put the mask on him because everybody was like, "Yo,
No,
what the?"
the fumble with Ermac was, it's like he's an NPC in the game. And it's like, you mean to tell me I have to buy him? Bro, I had to fight him like 2 to 3 times in the
Right. Him
story.
and Quan Chi.
Him and Quan Chi, bro. It is like,
And then
no, bro.
all you find is Ouroboros Quan Chi, dog.
Yeah. Cthulhu
Actually,
Quan.
actually, no. He like when I was really got deep into some gameplay, like it actually grows on you, like a little bit,
It
a
could have been
little bit.
flashier.
Yes,
He
it
should
could
have
have
been
been.
flashier.
Like the summonings could have been a little bit flashier, but then Cthulhu versus Quan Chi, it actually works. It actually works.
I wasn't a big fan of the like Quan Chi's story didn't make any sense, man. Like
Like you got your soul taken, but not really. What
But what
happened?
was worse than that was Ermac's story was even worse. Of like, he's King Jared, except when he's not. And then he absorbs Sindel, who's in there, but only in this universe is
Well,
Sindel.
actually,
I was
no,
like,
he's always been King
oh
Jerry. Like that was
man.
actually confirmed even in the last gen. Like
that
in
would
the
have been
Okay.
set,
raw, right? King
yeah.
Jared takes over this Ermac and now he's present. And but then oh, wait, no, I'm evil. I'm like, yo, what are we doing? It's so many things working against the storyline. I was okay. So many things.
I think ultimately the greater question, because we do have to move on, is you look at something like this, where
What's
again,
next?
well, yeah, what's next, right? Because let's say
What are you gonna do?
that they're holding out on confirming this until the season's over, because you're going to have those MK supporters who are going to be in denial of like, well, maybe if we buy enough, DLC and microtransactions, they'll see there's interest. Like, no, that's not how that works.
That board meeting was serious.
Yeah, that's not how that works. Right. So it's like they have that, like, we might not know till early next year if this is a real thing, right? Let's just assume it is, right? Just for entertainment's sake. You now have a situation where you have not one, but two Mortal Kombats in a row where the consumer was led to believe that there'd be more than 2 years of support for this game. And there wasn't. Then you have Ed Boon, anytime someone put a microphone in front of him, telling us we're going to support Mortal Kombat 1 for years to come. And now you got Warner Brothers saying, psych, gotcha.
Yeah. No, Ed.
We've seen the numbers. Absolutely
It's
not.
over.
Yeah.
It's over.
So, yeah, I think to myself then, it's like, okay, well, Warner Brothers has clearly no active plans to bring back Injustice, right? You're going to double down on Mortal Kombat. But now, if this is true, you've now lost customer loyalty because I can't trust you anymore. I can't take you at your word. When you guys roll out whatever Mortal Kombat 2 or whatever it's called next, I have to assume you will not be supporting this for more than 2 years because it hasn't happened. And my question is, especially in a year like this, which we were talking about earlier, where Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8 are like running away with the big three, do fans even come back to Mortal Kombat 4 or 5 years from now when the next game comes out? I don't see it.
I mean,
I don't see it.
I'm gonna be real with you. If one of the games have to fumble, but if they don't, and I don't think they will, I don't think they will. You would have to go out of your way to fumble what the momentum that Street Fighter and Tekken are doing.
I think Mortal Kombat is going to go into a hiatus. Remember, like how things was between from Armageddon to Mortal Kombat 9. I think it's going to go on a hiatus.
Crazy.
I think it's good. Like, they've reached a point of burnout, and that's the thing about these properties, bro. This multiverse madness stuff. It takes you to a hole, man. It really does, like, write you into a hole, and they're hurting because of it. Because now you had all these ideas that is just too scatterbrained to put together. Like, look how I just broke that down. Like, you mean to tell me this is not perfect sense to you?
Well, it's hard to do that when there's only one writer, Tim.
Yeah. So yeah,
hard
bro,
to bounce ideas when it's only you in the mirror.
Like to maintain customer loyalty, I would definitely say tank the hits and support this season. Give people stuff that they actually want. Like there was some No Man's Skies magic and some cyberpunk magic. Like see it through to the end. Give us characters that we want. You gotta give us, one character that will put you back in the good graces is Jade, and give it to her for free. Free.
You just
free Jade.
Send a shiver down on Warner Brothers employees spying Tim. I'm like, oh,
no, bro,
free?
definitely. Because first of all, Chaos Rings was very overpriced. I was like, play
$50.
$50. I was like,
that's
nah,
a
bro.
good point. That's another thing. $50, man.
That is crazy, bro.
For characters that's already in the game.
So like I said, bro, if you really want to maintain that faith, bro, you just got to take the bullet, bro, and see how it rack up over time. Because I do feel like if you do justice by your customers, they will stick around. Because the people have already bought the game, and they want to see where this investment takes them. But it's just you have to really show us the good signs of faith, bro. Like you had to tank it with Melina for MK11, so you got to do it with this one. And learn from your lessons this time.
Yeah, I'm like, I think that's the thing of like, it's so volatile where like you don't know what to take as gospel with this property anymore.
Even with the Combat 3 leaks, so I was like, so you have Cassie Cage, you have Kung Jin, you have I think they said Kenyo Sonya and a final guest character, which we already know.
Who's Kenyo Sonya? Who's that?
No, Kano and Sonya.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Kano, okay.
You already know who the last guest character was. It's probably that clown face that's always in the movies now, that new killer clown.
The black and white?
Oh.
The black and white? Oh.
Mm.
Is that either that or Pennywise, bro?
Pennywise would be a lot better than that
Yeah,
clown.
but then my thing about it is, like I said, it's too many guest characters, bro. The new
Aiden,
era should
right?
have been
Aiden.
the new era should have been focused on how do these characters look and play now. So I mean, like I said, bro, we'll see. I mean, sooner we should be getting a trailer for the T1000 soon, so we'll see what happens with the public reception. But
And you know
it's
what's so
tough.
crazy, Tim? I don't care.
Care.
I don't care to see the T1000 melt like Alex Mack.
Yeah.
I don't
Hey,
care.
to be honest, that
Oh my
might just only
gosh.
be an animation for the start of the
For
game.
like yeah. Oh my gosh.
Because I was like, bro, how is this going to work in a fight? Because I was even trying to think about what template are they going to use.
They're gonna bring Glacius from Killer Instinct to the game.
Yeah. No, he's gonna be Baraka. He's gonna be Baraka fused with
Yeah, definitely. With the
he's gonna be Baraka fused with he's probably gonna play like Cabal. So he's gonna probably play like Cabal. Yeah, but Cabal with the I don't see, and and then Cabal or
oh
some elements of Rain, even though Rain's in the game, classic Rain with the
Mm.
water warping abilities.
I laugh
I don't know.
because
I'm
I'm
just
just
throwing
like
stuff out
I
there.
think about
It's
like
not
I'm
pretty,
like from
but
where the pod started where we were all like, yo, Mortal Kombat. And like I'm like, we're talking about the cancellation of the game. And none of us are enthused. None of us. There's nothing like there's no like, hey, but
oh no. Once the game came out, and you guys were like, hmm.
had me in the first half.
If I yeah, the first half, bravo, but when you guys were like, yeah, the second half, I'm like, yo, did the Patriots win or did they lose, man? Talk to me, man. Because I'm
yeah,
looking at the
bro.
scoreboard, and then I was like, yeah, all
And
right.
then Chaos Reigns just buried it. I was like, bro, y'all just
You
ugh.
gave us an invasions season with cutscenes. No.
That's what it was, man.
No. But keeping the train rolling of things where it might be over. It might be time to hang it up. Horizon Zero Dawn, right? Aloy the Great, you know? A PlayStation original. They decided they wanted to broaden Horizon's reach a younger audience, right? Even, do a backdoor brown paper bag handshake with Nintendo to get it out on their console to give us Lego Horizon Zero Dawn. And they were so invested in this that they didn't even let the usual people that make Lego games make this game. They made this game. This is Guerrilla Games, or like an offset of Guerrilla Games version of a Lego Horizon Zero Dawn. And gentlemen, to maybe no one's surprise on this podcast, it flopped.
I'll take it off. Okay.
Wait. And then their Shadow Clone popped up from Tencent. But go ahead, Tim. Take us away.
Okay. See, the problem with Horizon was, all right, first of all, if you wanted to invest into a Lego property, first of all, a Lego property means it's geared towards kids. Don't you think you need something to draw kids in? Because last time I checked, Horizon is more of a teenage, upper adult story. So how are you drawing kids to this world? Which is a post-apocalyptic, techno-organic survival. So you have no anime property. You have no. You know what they should have done.
No, they had an anime property. Remember, it got canceled. But go ahead.
But you know what they should have done. You remember how the PS4 Ratchet and Clank that was based off like a rebooted movie? That succeeded because you had the movie first, then the game came out. So you had something to draw people in. So my thing about it
Tim,
is
the
if you
Horizon
really
project got canceled, bro. they wanted to do. They got canceled. But go ahead.
But then, okay, so if that was canceled, then why are you still releasing this? And because I kind of just felt like, bro, this double down on Horizon is not needed because, all right, first off, all right, you did Forbidden West, you had a VR component, you had a VR game as well. Cool, you've already checked those boxes, but you took away the PS4 version for a PS5 upscale that nobody asked for. Like, bro, the game just came out last generation.
Mm-hmm.
All just for graphic fidelity. Like, bro, we do not care that there's now moss on this particular statue. We do not care.
This ain't the Last of Us writing either. But go ahead, keep going.
It's like what, like these waste of resources, bro. Because that's the thing is like the Lego games are very successful because they piggyback off properties that are like, stirring around in the algorithm. But how is Horizon stirring around the algorithm due to the market that you're generating it to? Because like, look at Astrobot. Astrobot does a good way of introducing Aloy in a kiddish form. So I'm like, all right, if you wanted to introduce Aloy into a very kiddish type of form, you need a kiddish type of property. It's like, maybe you could have done like a prequel anime or like a movie when she was with the kids in the village. Like, oh, Aloy and the kids. But then I still kind of feel like they would have wrote themselves into a hole because you still want to fight the animals, the robots. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like it was just unnecessary. That is not a title that you turn into a Lego title. And then why would you even want to do a Lego title when your biggest kid-friendly game is doing numbers? Why don't you just, as a Sony head, as a Sony ecosystem, just commit to this particular property?
Why don't you drop Lego Spider-Man? You own the Spider-Man IP. He's in Across the Spider-Verse, one of the most commercially successful films you have ever dropped ever.
You're right.
Thank you, Spider-Man. You're one of my most trusted soldiers.
The funniest part of the movie, and that part, I was in tears.
It's right. It's not a guest character. You own the gaming rights for this superhero character. Why did you not give us a Lego Spider-Man? My goodness. I didn't mean to cut you off, Tim, but like you said, like in terms of
you're actually right. That makes a lot of sense.
And, I'm like, where am I?
and according to this gaming atmosphere, bro, you just need to do what makes sense. Like there was no call for you to give more to the Horizon franchise. Like I said, you could have kept the PS4 complete edition because people are still buying it. I like even before I platinum that, I was like, that's still a game that I bought recently. But you delisted that for the store for this PS5 upscale, which is more money if you didn't buy the complete edition. Because if you didn't buy the complete edition, you don't get that $10 upgrade, bro. You got to pay almost over $50.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, all right, so Forbidden West, they're good. You have the complete edition to that available. It's on PC as well. But you just do a remastered for a game that literally just came out last generation. It's like, bro, like you did that with Until Dawn. It flopped.
Big time.
And by the way, the Until Dawn PS4 version is still available on the store. So even the fact that you delisted the Horizon, I was like, bro, that's stupid because they knew a lot of people was going to take advantage of that and get this just $10 upgrade. But I was like, bro, that is so sneaky, bro. I was like, is that what we're really doing now? But like I said, man, that was just a waste, bro. A waste of resources. I mean, you better, do a $20 sale on the PlayStation Store because that's the only way it's going to work. Whatever.
S-Rank, do you want to give your opinion before I give my opinion?
Number one, that story
Because Tim
is
was nice. Tim was nice. Tim was real nice.
ludicrous.
Tim was considerate.
That story is ludicrous.
Tim spoke with his heart, with compassion.
The story is ludicrous. The Horizon Zero Dawn story is insane. And it's not insane in good ways. Why would you want to market this? This is a Degrassi level drama writing.
You're right.
Why would you want to issue this to children? The themes aren't compatible with children. It's not your most popular franchise even on your console. She's not the most interesting character on your console. She is for the most forgettable PlayStation character, in my opinion, of today's generation. There's nothing about her that we remember. There's nothing about her that sticks out as a character, except her being just grunts of no. She's a worse version of this generation's Laura Croft from Tomb Raider. Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
just that bread, that cracker bread that your grandma got at the back of the counter that says 2001, that y'all just leave there because it's decoration. And one day, you got adventurous nephews, they eat it, it's just gravel. That's what her character is. The idea is cool, right? Jurassic Park, Cybertron, Zoids, hey, it's cool. But is it the game that people buy a PlayStation for? No. They think about Ghost of Tsushima.
No,
No,
Tim.
it does. No,
No.
it goes.
No,
Listen,
no, with certain people, yes. That's a half and a
they
half
think
statement. Half and
they
half.
think of they think of Ghost of Tsushima,
They think of Infamous.
Infamous, right? They think of God of War, all versions of God of War. They think of Spider-Man. Now they'll have Wolverine. That game is gonna get drowned. Like, I would have never invested in that. And then not only that, right? You got the copycat ninja all the way in the Leaf Village nation, or the land of the dragon, doing his ultimate clone jutsu. And it makes sense. It makes more sense for people to play that version than what y'all giving me. Out of all the properties y'all could have gave Lego, y'all could have invested. I would have it would have made more sense to put a last attempt on that.
Mm.
Let's make a open world Knack game for kids. Let's make the character Knack look more interesting,
Actually,
or whatever,
wow.
right? Let's use Knack. Let's make an open world Knack game. Let's put some money back into this property because it makes sense. I believe in it, right? Let's make a let me see what else genius. Little Big Planet. Could have did a newer version of Little Big Planet, right? Okay, but no. Let's
Especially
let's
when
put
the theme of crafting your own world, you craft your own things with Legos.
and then did not Kirby do a game where he
It
was just a
almost
ball of
solves
yarn?
itself.
Hmm?
Yeah, he
Didn't
did.
Kirby just do a game where he was a ball of yarn? Isn't the puppet from made out of yarn? Hmm? Little Big Planet? Aren't they made out of yarn? You could have had interesting mechanics. I got a controller that the full functions aren't being utilized. Let's do that for the kids, to where they can move the controller and right. Let's do it. Why am I going to charge you for an $80 controller? Let's make this $80 controller go to work, and then after that we increase our sales because. Hey, you only got one controller. You need to play with your buddy here, right? You got a brother, right? Look, go ahead. Your younger brother doesn't even have to. He doesn't even have to punch buttons. You want to build with Knack? You just shake it up, and after that, you get a random customization. Now you take it all. Could have did that. No, Aloy. I don't know. I'm perplexed, but tag you in, man. Go ahead, take it away.
Here's the thing. I think this should be the final sign to Sony that this property is not what you think it is. It just isn't. Again, I'm with Tim. I enjoy this world. Yes, it's Jurassic Park Cybertron. I like the premise. I do. It's a sci-fi Tomb Raider. I like it. The Forbidden West writing was not good. The DLC writing was even worse. You now have this character that you've given to us on two separate occasions. The second one being a better world, but weaker narrative this time around. You tried to use her to sell your VR console. They gave it good reviews. Those VR consoles are still sitting in your manufacturer's warehouse. Then you tell me that, the franchise has just had bad luck. I mean, what are you supposed to do when Forbidden West is supposed to drop the same week as Elden Ring? I don't know. Push it back? Right? But you didn't push it back because you think Horizon is something that it is not. I'm just one person who sees a kid YouTuber get picked up by Sony to craft the set of Lego Spider-Man for Across the Spider-Verse. And I think to myself, man, that sells all of the minifigures, all of the Lego sets, all of the games, and it's Spider-Man. And you can even make it a Spider-Verse tie-in if you want to, because he's part of the movie. But you don't. You say, no, let's give this Aloy thing another shot. And like S Rank and Tim said, nothing about this story is kid friendly. And I don't mean kid friendly as in it's offensive to kids. I mean, there's just concepts and narratives that just don't work for small children. So you Legify it and you essentially make an alternate universe Aloy, because nothing about this character is going to translate to this character later. Oh, this Lego Aloy, she likes pickle sandwiches. I've never seen Aloy eat in the Horizon games. I don't know what she likes. I don't know how she is with her friends. I don't know what she enjoys. I don't know what her hobbies are. I don't know anything about this character. And you giving her to me over the course of the past 7 years, nonstop. Aloy is not it. She's not.
Just felt like I was watching an episode of the Gilmore Girls. I just and people want to play this game.
I enjoy the mechanics of the game. Tim said the same thing. So like he's Platinum Horizon. Like there's fun mechanics to be had if you enjoy those type of mechanics, right? It's not for everybody, right? But like if you enjoy those type of mechanics, it's great. It's a beautiful game, right? Visually, it's very impressive, right? It's just. I think sometimes it's just like, yo, you gotta. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I want Lego Last of Us, right? But I'm just like, at the same time, it's just like, you right? Right? I'm not saying that, but I think it comes a time where it's like, at what point do you say to yourself, this just might not be what I think it is? You know what I'm saying? Like Tim said last part, is like we all grow and mature in life, and we kind of put things away that maybe even if we were talented in it, right? Like I used to make music, people were really receptive to it, but I'm like, I just don't see myself playing out in 5, 10, 15 years from now in this lane. Let me pivot. I still want to use my voice over a microphone and have my opinions influence others. Voila, ta-da, I'm on a podcast with my friends. Wow, look at the way I pivoted it to something else that still made sense for what I wanted to do. Crazy. But trying to, the timing wasn't right. I forgot what came out at the same time as Horizon Zero Dawn. Oh, the timing wasn't right. How you battle a blockbuster. It's like, listen, it's cool. It's going to do its numbers. You'll crack a couple million every time you drop a Horizon. It's not a console shipper the way it is. Y'all had to bundle it with every scalper version of the PS5 that y'all had just for the units to move. It's not it. You didn't see the numbers go up when everyone's getting a free copy of Forbidden West with their PS5s that they could buy at retail price. No one went back and was like, oh, let me go play Zero Dawn. It didn't happen. And that's okay. Like, I think that's the other thing with some of these things of like, it's okay, right? Like, you don't have to like cling to this idea that I have to make this work. Sometimes it just doesn't. It just doesn't. Like, I don't know what they expect to see from. I think maybe in their mind they're like, man, I can't wait till we can build Aloy Land in Disney someday, right? And have the kids climb a replica of a tall neck. I'm like, I'm here to tell you, if nothing else, if these Lego sales don't tell you of this game, it's not going to happen. This is just not the character. It's just not going to work. I'm sorry. You know, like I'm so, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this is mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. No. Mm-mm. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. Like I said, Tim was very, very gracious. I mean, I get it. There's people behind this game. They're obviously very passionate about the project. And again, I don't think the Horizon games are bad. Some of the story things I think could use some work. But it's just it is what it is, right? It's like no one said Killzone was bad either, right? But Killzone didn't have the lasting legs to push on past a certain point, right? Sony didn't see the point of investing it. Doesn't make it bad, right? Horizon, just because she's not Nathan Drake of the PS5 generation, doesn't make her a bad character. She's just not Nathan Drake. It is what it is. So, go ahead.
It's tough, man. And to be honest, Joy brought up a good point that I think he was talking. Yeah, we were talking about fighters and Tekken. Like some of these companies are doing the first things for the first time. Like for example, when you really look at it, all right, during I would say from the PS1 all the way to the PS3. Remember, like Sony Studios is still fairly new in terms of like the PS4 era.
Mm-hmm.
So now that they actually have true mascot characters. So it's like, what do you do with a Ratchet, a Sly, a Jack, a Nathan Drake, and stuff like that? But then, to the point where the PS4 was such a very pivotal era for these mascot characters. It's like, yes, you want to maintain their relevance, but then you also got to understand, bro, when their story ends. Like to me, bro, Valhalla, the therapy Valhalla DLC was good.
That
was good to me.
That was the first roguelike I've enjoyed in a very long time.
It was a very medium tone DLC that brought a lot of closure to some things. And it was like, okay, that works. Okay, Ghost of Yote, it works. It's a time skip because when you really look at it, how far could you really take Jin's story?
I agree.
How far could you really take that?
What else did you want him to do?
Like, how far could you take that? He was branded as a fugitive till he died. However, he died. Like, yeah, we might get some Easter egg in it or whatever.
1,000%, yeah.
But that's
maybe
cool.
a flashback mission or two.
Cool as it is.
Mm-hmm.
But then my thing about it is, all right, Sony, now that you've established these particular studios as your flagship studios to create first-party games, it does not have to cling to one character that they create during a generation. They can create more. You have to really understand is like, even to go back to the point, all right, shift more over to AA games, bro. If AAA games take too long to create, then just downgrade it just a little bit. Like there are some when you really look at it, like the PS2 was basically a series of AA games. And look how such longevity they still carry to this day. So you've proven that there's a formula that works, but it's just not this way, bro. Like, I hope, the financial flops of Until Dawn, Horizon, and just Concord in general. Now you're 3 for 3. Just chill out.
I think that's what happens when you try to make every movie a game. Every game a movie.
Yeah.
Right? You're not focused on gameplay anymore. You're not focused on style. Nothing sticks out. Everything looks the same. You got the same cornfields. If I were to take a screenshot,
you're not focused about maintenance. How do you maintain this? You're just trying to make some quick money and just call it that.
Let's establish this property so we can branch it out into these other things and make trillions and billions and quazillions.
It's like the fact that you really made Horizon Meet Remastered just for graphic fidelity. Oh yeah, share us your pictures or PS5 share. I don't care. It's the same game that I've beaten. If I were to even do the $10 upgrade, Soon as my system uploads, they're just going to give me the trophy list for the PS5. They're going
Right.
to give me my platinum, and I'm just going to delete it.
Right. And you'll sign in and you'll be like, wow, this does look prettier. Anyway, let me get some storage space back.
Bro. Simple.
Hey, we can move on.
We can move on.
Yeah, I just, it's one of those things where like we're talking about things that left us in disbelief. I'm just like, I don't understand. I don't get it.
I am interested to see how Sony responds back to that particular trailer.
Me too. Me
Like
too.
There's not much they could do.
No, there isn't.
There's not that much. It's too late.
Just enough different.
It's just enough.
Where it's
just
like,
different.
So I can't have.
I definitely changed my
mechanical
answers.
deer in my game.
Just two answers I changed. So I got an 80. Well, you got 100%. I got an 80. So that's it. Listen, man. Once I saw that trailer, and I said, man, I could play this. Oh, it's multiplayer.
Crossplay.
That was the jab. I was like,
it's multiplayer, crossplay. Okay. Yeah. I could build. What can you build in Horizon? If I'm an Aztec nomad warrior lady
who's super resourceful and knows how to solve everything with her supercomputer scouter.
Right? Why can't I, have a sidekick?
Oh, that's easy because Aloy has a hard time keeping friends. The flagship character for this franchise. Her friends spend most of the game chasing her. Like, we should still be friends.
And then we're gonna issue this to children who want to make friends and make friends easy.
In a co-op game. Based around a character who has a hard time keeping friends.
Hard time keeping friends. So okay. And so it's like, okay, so out of all the technological weapons I could use, a bow and arrow is sufficient?
Until it's not.
Forbidden
West DLC, they gave her a gun. So ta-da! They gave her the 2033 version of a space revolver. So
2033? Oh,
no, it's further in the future than that. But I'm just saying, like, it's
that could take out a whole tank, spaceship. Anyway,
yeah. We can move on. We can move on.
Yeah, we done.
I'm just, the one Sony employee that's like, let me see what underrated game pods there are out there. Like, I hope you come across this clip because I'm about to clip it up and tell y'all.
Yeah, man. We just gonna go ahead and violate your feed. We're just gonna post our link right there, like them annoying bots. Hey, buy my product. I don't care.
By the way, don't know if you
like and subscribe. You're gonna go ahead and put that right there. Like and subscribe. Hey, Sony, right there underneath the Horizon Zero Dawn, your video has been removed. Oh, really? Send again. Let's do it.
Right. When you get a second, when you're not so freaking out over 10 cents version of your game, if you have just 10 minutes, just go ahead and check out this little segment real quick where we tell you what went wrong. If it makes you feel better, just play Tim's version. He was very kind.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking, man. And I don't think they are thinking. It's just, yeah.
Yeah. But before we move into our last big topic of the night, Tim, tell us why we should take this as a sign of good faith that Virtua Fighter is coming back.
Well, I have mixed reviews. Well, first of all, like I do.
Never mind.
I know I have. No, honestly, bro, like Virtua Fighter is a very pinnacle series, man. Like I said, I've loved it ever since like the olden days of PS2. That's something that me and my god brothers played religiously, like next to Soul Calibur. So it has that legacy feeling to me. Mm-hmm. I was happy when it came to the PS4 with esports attached to it. Like yes, that was still a very weird period where rollback was starting to really get the buzz of it, and a lot of people were complaining. It was like, why didn't you just wait until that could be implemented? Like I'm trying to have my faith in Sega. I really am. So you're introducing this PC version with, 4K support, 60 frames per second, rollback netcode implemented. My only thing that I think that is like, bro, this is going to make it or break it into a success. Crossplay with the PS4 version and give the PS4 version rollback netcode. Because, like, yes, you said that the PS4 version is going to get the balance update. Thank you. You've covered one base. Now we just need the other two.
You checked one box.
Because if you really want to make this a success, crossplay is the best thing to do about it. It is the best thing to do about it, especially the ecosystem that it has. Like, you know, because I'll admit has a bigger niche in Japan. It does.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like this could really be the gateway to solidify it here in North America for these other times. Because right now, a lot of YouTubers are eating that up. Like, oh, what is Virtua Fighter? Virtua Fighter versus Tekken. And it's getting numbers, bro. Because like you gotta admit that Virtua Fighter has inspired a lot of things to Tekken. Like Harada has even stated that multiple times.
Yeah, that's not even a question.
Now, my thing about this is, okay, I was kind of expecting Virtua Fighter 6. So it's like, all right, Sega, please don't pull the rug from us. Please don't tell me you was hyping us up this much just for another reskin of Virtua Fighter 5. And that's what I'm just concerned about. Like, you did good things. Like, you're now making it a statement that the Yakuza engine is what y'all gonna take. That's gonna be your pride and joy. Cool. Okay, it's esports dedicated. Cool. It has a lot of good online and offline modes. Cool. You need that netcode, bro. And you need to honor the PS4. Even if you have to do a PS5 upscale like how you did with Fighter Z, it's possible. Just please do it right. And that's all that I have to say. And if we have to ride that out for another year and a half till Virtua Fighter 6, okay, I will be satisfied. I will be satisfied with that. Because I do feel like they want to take their time with Virtua Fighter 6 because, bro, just like how Joey said, it's going to be the first time. There's no more arcade. It's going to be jumping straight to console. So I know they're watching Tekken like a hawk.
And there are some new bare necessities for putting out a fighter in 2025 and beyond that you absolutely need to have.
Because like you've made it clear. You've made it clear that hardcore fighting style still exists. That people still want that. None of that meter burn stuff. Like, and you know, you've always branded Virtua Fighter as like each character has a signature fighting style. So you're cutting out so you're not going to have people where it's just a bunch of repeats. Like you ain't going to have like 10 Shoto characters.
Right.
So, okay, cool. Now is your time to really diversify the roster. Okay, look at different fighting styles in different regions. Now, if they really want to do a job, like, oh yeah, get a Brazilian fighter in there.
Here's how you really do it.
Like, because, you know, you're always going to do the Muay Thai. Everybody does Muay Thai. Mm-hmm. You're always going to do some pro wrestler. To be honest, Virtua Fighter has one of the best sumo characters ever. Like E Honda, like, no offense, but you ain't got nothing on Taka Arashi. I've seen some gameplay footage of this sumo character. I was like, bro, how did this person even try? Like, you just got straight demolished. So it's like Virtua Fighter has so much potential, bro. And I really feel if Sega does this property right, if it does it justice, I would definitely say, boy, Sega is back. If they do it right.
This could definitely be that determination,
to show like
factor.
what they're truly capable
of. If they do it right.
Like, yeah, Sonic Shadow Generations, that was a middle ground. And I'll be honest with you, Anna. Yes, the very things that you mentioned, they could have done better, and that was a middle ground. But now you really have to step up. You got to step up.
I think for the sake of time, I'll hold off on like S Rank and I giving our full opinions. I think we're in agreement with you, right? I think like it's their kind of like ball to fumble, essentially, right? I think not to rehash too much of my points with Sonic. I just think where it's like when you see something like that, where like you have this treasured mascot franchise that you've, for the most part, started to course correct over the past couple of games. To me, it's like you got to take the Capcom approach to this. Like Capcom has locked in. Right? We've all said it's on this podcast. Like they have, okay, our fighting game side of things is kind of lackluster. Let's course correct. Oh, our third person action adventure hasn't been the greatest. We are going to make sure, with the exception of Resident Evil 3, that these Resident Evil remakes are amazing. We could have probably coasted to the finish line on Resident Evil 4 because it's such a legendary thing. But we made sure it was one of the best remakes you've ever seen.
You had to. You had no choice.
Right.
You had no choice.
So,
Resident Evil 4, you're gonna touch that, and
right.
it's gonna be a different blowback if it's not good.
Right. So I will say that in passing that I agree with everything you're saying, Tim. I just think like I haven't seen yet that version of Sega with their properties. Not yet. I'm not saying it's not possible. Right. Again, like you said, like all this stuff with the rollback, with like this is a good sign that they're taking this seriously. But it's like this is your ball to fumble, especially now with the potential gap that's going to be there with Mortal Kombat kind of falling off. All the stars are right there.
Are aligning.
But
there's also sneaky competition too. We can't forget about KOF, King of Fighters.
Yes, but I think in terms of like to what Tim said, especially like when we think about Japanese culture, there is a reverence for Virtua Fighter. Right? There's a level of respect where like your favorite gamers programmer use Virtua Fighter as a reference. Right. I think that can't go, without being said. I would. It would not surprise me, right, if the creators of Street Fighter was like, "Yo, we use Virtua Fighter as a reference." When we like, of course you did, right? It's just like, of course you did. So I think that's the thing of like, I hope for Sega's sake that they take this seriously. Like, if you really want this game to mean something again, you have to lock in. You can't this whole like, you'll get coast off the legacy. It's like that's not going to work this time.
And why would you want to even take that approach? It's so strange that businesses take a risk at opening the business and then stop taking risk at a certain. It's like the weirdest thing ever. Like you were a concept. You were a risk at because of your inception. Your birth was a risk, and a business needs to take risk. And so now all of a sudden you want to stop taking risk. The very thing that is what a business needs to move or to thrive is taking risk. PlayStation's inception, you guys get rejected by Nintendo. Okay, we're gonna do it ourselves.
And not only do it ourselves, we're gonna let every person with a IP. Okay, come on. Here's a platformer. Here's a pet game. Here's Spyro. Here's Musashi. Here's Siphon Filter. Come on.
They want Virtua Fighter to be good. That design team, y'all need to pull out Street Fighter, Tekken, Magic on redesigning your characters.
No, honestly, bro, but that's where the purpose of the Yakuza engine is. Like, all right, bro, if you're really taking that engine this far, go ham with these designs. Go ham, and I feel like diversifying the roster is their biggest chance right now. Because, yes, I get it. A lot of there's a lot of legacy characters in Virtua Fighter, but it's time to really get away from the certain palettes. It's time for you to really push it to the next level.
Terrible design.
Even one of the characters is an Aboriginal from Australia, and I feel like he's the best designed character. The one with the dreads. He's an Australian. He's an Aboriginal. I was like, that is good. That is very thoughtful. I would have never thought of that. But then it's like some of these other characters, yes, some of them are bland. Some of them are very bland. The monk character is a great design. The sumo wrestler is
that works. No.
The sumo wrestler, great design.
No,
but then,
yeah.
But then
El Blaze.
But then even El Blaze to an extent.
Wow. Rey Mysterio.
To an extent.
Rey Mysterio. No,
to an extent.
Tim, come on, Tim. That's not even the best Rey Mysterio, Tim.
Okay. Whatever. All right. But to get back on point, it's time for them to truly put a little bit more thought behind certain things, man. It really is. But yeah, man, like I said, man, when they originally brought out the Virtua Fighter for PS4, they did it a very smart way. They made a deal with PlayStation, hey, if you have PlayStation Plus, it's going to be free that month. So when I tell you, and I was on vacation at the time when it came out, when I tell you the moment I got off that plane and got back to my house, I turned on my system and I hit download. You
I did
can
too. It was enjoyable.
you can beat that, bro. You cannot beat that. So you have to be very smart with this, and that's what Second needs to do. Just be smart. Don't try to. You're not a Capcom. Don't try to pull a Capcom.
No.
No rollback netcode is a early coffin.
Yep. And you got to get out ahead of everybody else, and it has to come across play day one, not eventually, not at some point on launch. Crossplay, figure it
Yeah.
out.
So yeah, I mean, we'll see what they do in the coming days because they did say the update's supposed to be coming this winter. So I would think from now to like probably like early parts of February. So we'll see what the updates are. So hopefully it's something that matters.
Okay. There was a comment that I wanted to talk about, but we've already kind of ran super long. So I will say that I promise to the person that left this comment, definitely a very big fan of the pod. You have my word. We will discuss that topic next pod. I will start off the pod with your comment to make up for the fact that we just did this pod and did not address it at all after I told him that we would. So please forgive us. We didn't mean it. It wasn't intentional. Not baiting you to keep watching. But yeah, till next time, people, thank you for tuning in with us despite some of the technical difficulties, and it started with episode 1 and it'll continue on somehow. But once again, this is the Press Start Select podcast. If you haven't already, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. We're trying to make our monetization qualifications so we could do this on a regular basis, on a more affordable basis for y'all. And that helps in that regard. And yeah, I am Antonius DaGamer, Super SSS Rank, Mykale Smith, Press Start Select Podcast. Till next time.
All right, salute.